Coming up on Tech News Today, the Nexus S gets rooted, but also delayed for a bunch of people. Also, Yahoo kills off two of my favorite sites, murderers, and we'll explain why you need to send the FCC Waffles now.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This right here is Tech News Today for Thursday, December 16th, 2010. Tech News Today brought to you by Ford and voice-activated sync featuring true hands-free calling, turn-by-turn directions, 911 assist, and more. Available exclusively on Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury vehicles. And by Slingbox, which just turned your iPad into a television. Look, check it. Slingbox introduces their new iPad app just in time for the holidays. So now you can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you take it. Check it out at Best Buy or slingbox.com. Welcome to Tech News Today. I'm Tom Merritt.
I'm Dr. Kiki.
And I'm Jason Howell.
And this is
I don't know why I saying that.
Tech news that stays fresh longer, so you don't have to.
How do you do that?
Do you have to keep your tech news
Kind of a
refrigerated
secret.
in order for it to stay fresh?
You can leave
No.
our tech news out all night long, and it's just
good.
as fresh the next morning.
Tech news.
No
deodorant.
preservatives. Nexus S has been rooted, ladies and gentlemen. That didn't take long. Nexus S
no
just
kidding.
went on sale this morning. Although there are reports of people having problems getting T-Mobile activations if you ordered online. In fact, my wife, Eileen, she tried to order a Nexus S online, got an email, said there's a problem. Called them up, and they said, yeah, we're having problems activating with T-Mobile.
It's all because it's
Maybe they should have told T-Mobile they were going to sell the Nexus S.
Maybe they should have, but we can just blame it on Mercury and retrograde.
So instead of ordering
Everything.
Instead of
Everything.
ordering this morning and getting the Nexus S tomorrow, many people, we don't know how many people, but they said it's affecting more than one.
Yeah.
Many people will have to wait at least 48 hours for them to have T-Mobile get back to them and figure out how to activate them on the network. I don't understand why they couldn't just send the Nexus S anyway and deal with the activation problems
Later,
as
they
they
come up.
can.
Yeah.
So at least you'd have the thing. But they're saying, no, you have to wait up to 48 hours to hear back from T-Mobile. Then we'll send you the Nexus
Yeah,
S.
what if what you really wanted your Nexus S for was to, like, play music?
Yeah.
No,
No,
but
you can't do
T-Mobile has to say it's okay first.
That's right.
I guess
They
so.
have to approve it. T-Mobile approved.
Yahoo is a murderer of websites. There's a screenshot going around of a webcast from yesterday's post-layoff meeting where they talked about getting rid of sites like My Blog Log, not Bob Law's Law Blog, but My Blog Log.
Happy that's
Bob
not going anywhere.
Law's Law Blog. Yahoo Picks, Alta Vista,
Oh.
Yahoo Bookmarks, which you might know as Delicious,
Yeah.
Yahoo Buzz. Actually, Yahoo Bookmarks and Delicious, two separate things, but they're both getting killed.
They're getting the axe.
So some of those are things that Yahoo acquired, like Delicious. Other things were internally generated. But they're also going to merge additional products, including Fire Eagle and Yahoo People Search, and make features out of others, like Yahoo Alerts and Yahoo Calendar. They'll be rolled into other properties. But I am most disturbed by the idea that they would kill Alta Vista.
Because you still use it, even though
I still
nobody
use
else
Delicious. I should be
does.
much more disturbed that they're killing Delicious, which I am. I'm disturbed that they want to kill Delicious because I actually use Delicious, but sentimentally,
Yeah.
I have an unhealthy fascination with Alta Vista.
Well, there's always
did
the
this
Wayback
begin,
Machine.
Tom?
Don't worry about it, Tom.
Alta Vista, back when you chose between Hotwired's Hotbot, InfoSeek, Alta Vista, and I think Excite, Alta Vista was always the one I used. Alta Vista always seemed to work. They pioneered image search. They had Lycos. Don't forget Lycos.
Lycos.
But Alta Vista had the image search. They had the Babelfish translator. They were
That's
Google
right.
before there was Google. And then Google came along and everybody stopped using it.
And no more Alta Vista.
Well, I didn't even realize Yahoo still operated Alta Vista. I knew Alta Vista was still around. I didn't know Yahoo owned them. But I am disturbed that they would shut down Delicious. I have a ton of bookmarks in there.
That's the one that a lot of people are going to have to deal with. I think there are a lot of people who do still use Delicious. The question is, what is the cost benefit analysis that they're doing to determine that Delicious is not something that they want to do anymore?
After this slide went around, Yahoo did send out an official response. that admitted part of their streamlining involves cutting investment in underperforming or off-strategy products. They do plan to shut down some products in the coming months, such as Yahoo Buzz, our traffic APIs, and others. We will communicate specific plans when appropriate. So they haven't confirmed that they're getting rid of Alta Vista or Delicious. Oh, Yahoo Buzz is the only one they've actually said, yeah, we're definitely shutting down Yahoo Buzz.
They are thickening the peanut butter as we speak.
There you go. Well put. Right? Well put. The whole peanut butter memo from years back. Some of these properties were mentioned in that famous memo where it was Yahoo was described as spreading the peanut butter too thin. 3/4 of all downloads are illegal in the UK, according to BPI, the British Record Industry Group. 8 million people, 23% of the UK population use P2P software. That means around 2/3 to 3/4 of people don't indulge in piracy. That's not the way BPI is spinning it.
No,
right. So the majority of people don't indulge in piracy, but the few who do indulge in piracy are doing the lion's share of illegal downloads.
A lot.
They're downloading a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it looks like sales of digital is up, and so it's not making up for the loss of CD sales, but people are buying digital songs more and more. They're using P2P less. P2P declined 23%. Instead, if they are using non-authorized places to get their music, they're going to things like Rapid Share, MP3 search engines, or places that sell MP3s without authorization.
Russian websites.
Probably most of them are Russian.
Yeah.
So anyway, 13% of survey respondents said they had recently stopped using P2P in favor of other options, such as free streaming services or social networks. 29% said their reason for stopping was to be fair to artists and songwriters. This isn't as bad as BP would like to make it look. They just want the headline to be 1.2 billion illegal music files downloaded in 2010. A record amount.
It's a record. It's a lot. Okay, so a lot of people are downloading this stuff. What it looks like from the information is that the negative aspects of trying to push people away from illegal downloading are not the ones that are succeeding in getting people to switch to paying for their downloads. That it's actually getting people to think about what they like about the music, why they do it, supporting the artists, and get them to move to something, and even get them to move to products, streaming social products that give them a better user experience.
Yeah.
So the positive reinforcement seems to be having a lot better influence, and maybe the record industries need to take a look at this stuff.
Sale of digital singles. I just scrolled off of that. Sale of digital singles is expected to hit 160 million by the end of 2010, up from 149.7 million in 2009. Same goes for albums, expected to increase from 16.1 million to 21 million in 2010. All the BPI can say is that growth is a fraction of what it ought to be. Maybe they're right.
Okay.
Maybe they're not. It's hard to say. They're throwing out one of those estimates of losing billions of dollars to piracy that are hard to prove. But there you go. You got the numbers. You can make up your own mind. Mastercard is saying they're willing to cut off pirate sites. They're willing to stop processing transactions from sites trafficking in pirated music, movies, games, and other digital copyrighted content. Not a big deal. This is what a lobbyist says. Problem is determining whether a site really is liable for that stuff. Cutting off Google, saying Mastercard's not going to work. Well, Google traffics in sites that allow you to download illegal stuff.
Yeah. So who's going to make these decisions?
Nobody's going to cut off Google. It's right. Where do you draw the line? Yeah. What sites are legal and what aren't? That's the problem that this sort of statement gives me. It's like, well, who put Mastercard in charge of deciding this?
Yeah. Who did put Mastercard in charge of it? Is there a committee of people who are deciding what is piracy, what is not, what is traffic in this, what's legal, what's not, and right now they're looking at only focusing on groups that are within the United States, but we all know that a large percentage of the illegal sites that are download sites are not necessarily in the United States. So they're going to have to start going beyond borders. We should point out, too, that it's lobbyists for MasterCard who are saying this. MasterCard itself is not commenting because they just suffered an attack from Anonymous. They know better. Speaking of Anonymous, we haven't had a WikiLeaks roundup in a couple of days, but Julian Assange was released from prison earlier today. There was a little legal chicanery about who was actually appealing
his release, but the court still found that it was okay for him to be released for whatever, $340,000 of bail. I think it was 200-some thousand pounds. So he is now free to go with all of the restrictions we mentioned earlier in the week. He's going to have to wear an electronic monitor. He can only stay at Ellingham Hall. He has to check in with the police once a day, and he has a curfew. Meanwhile, the Justice Department is had a hearing today. Was at a hearing today on Congressional Hill. Let me start this over. Congress had a hearing about whether they should prosecute WikiLeaks under the Espionage Act of 1917. The Justice Department said they would have no problem distinguishing WikiLeaks from traditional media outlets. Because that's one of the issues here is, well, if we go after WikiLeaks, does the United States government have to also go after the New York Times,
all of
the Guardian, the Washington Post, anybody who ever published any stories around all this stuff? Justice Department trying to play it both ways, saying, no, WikiLeaks is different. They have a three-part reason why. They say that WikiLeaks focuses on obtaining and disclosing official secrets. The media gathers news about sensitive government operations, but decides whether it's specific to a particular story, whereas WikiLeaks releases troves of documents with little or no regard for their relevance. And they also points out that Assange has a personal grudge against government because of things that he said. This is not
that's a good solid reason right there that'll hold up.
Subjective statement there.
And the fact that there's an encrypted insurance file out on the torrents says that reflects a willingness to use his leaked documents for extortion and personal protection rather than simply to advance the values of transparency.
Yeah, I think they're still not getting at the main thing here, which is whether or not WikiLeaks actually, coerced somebody into giving them the information, or whether somebody freely gave it to them and there's an individual who should be cited for espionage who gave WikiLeaks the documents. WikiLeaks is just a conduit.
Right.
There's that question, and, that we don't
Although the
have to get into
Espionage
it here.
Act does say that publishing the information makes you culpable, but nobody's ever been successfully prosecuted in the press for that, which is why the Justice Department is bending over backwards trying to say, but they're not press.
Right. There's no freedom of...
There's no freedom of speech for not press.
Speech for not... Yeah, so if, you guys in the chat room...
You're not press.
You're not press.
That's why you can only say Vaynerchuk.
That's right.
Scotland Yard says they've been after Anonymous for months, back before they were cool. They were after Anonymous for their denial of service attacks. Interesting story in eWeek about that. Also, Anonymous saying they're going to change their tactics. I mean, it's hard to say Anonymous, they. Anonymous is a very loose association of individuals. It's not even technically a group. It's folks that talk to each other through various channels, IRC channels, 4chan, other places, and sort of in a anarchic way come up with a direction to go. And now what they're saying is they want to flyer. They want to put up paper flyers, plaster the streets with pro-WikiLeaks paper.
As they do that, are they going to wear, masks so you still don't know who they are?
You don't know who they are.
Yeah,
and then,
probably Guy
and they'll
Fawkes
be
Mac.
cited for littering.
Cited for littering. Volunteers have been translating posters into different languages. It's now called Operation Paperstorm, so look for it on a telephone pole
near you.
All right, let's take a moment and thank Ford, makers of voice-activated sync. You've heard us talk about it before, or if you haven't, it allows you to do true hands-free calling while keeping your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. You can, imagine this, get into your car, put your hands on the wheel, start driving, and without ever... It's like one of those story problems. Without ever letting your hands leave the wheel, do the following. Call Dr. Kiki, receive a text message from Jason Howell, send a text message to Lisa, skip songs in your playlist, end the playlist, change to an audiobook, and get turn-by-turn directions to go around the traffic jam caused by the Veterans Day Parade. You can do all of that with your voice in a Ford with voice-activated sync. Also, 911 assist. If your airbags deploy, they'll automatically call 911 for you. Works on Bluetooth phones, Bluetooth-enabled phones. Most of them you just get in and it automatically hooks up. Music and podcast search. And there's a contest going on. If you haven't heard about that, your chance to win a trip to Madrid, Spain for you and a friend to test drive the all-new Ford Focus, which comes out in early 2011. Ford will donate $10,000 to a charitable cause of your choice if you're the winner. If you want to enter, submit a video now through December 31st, 2010. at twitfordfocus.com. Say in the video what charitable cause you want to support and why. If you're selected for it, it'll donate the money, $10,000, to a charitable cause. $500,000 will be donated in total. And they'll send you and a friend, if you're a winner, on a free trip to Madrid for a test drive at Spain's National Institute for Aerospace Technology. If you would like to learn more about the rules, or if you'd like to submit your video or look at other videos, go to twitfordfocus.com. Tell us what cause you'd like to support. Upload your video. You have until December 31st. Available for TWiT audience members worldwide. Anywhere in the world. twitfordfocus.com. We thank them for their support. Old fogies like me are using social networking in larger and larger amounts.
Really? Like you? I don't know if you'd be considered an old fogey.
Even older.
Even older.
A new report from the Pew Internet and American Life Project says that people 34 and older, ancient, are more and more likely to watch online video, use online classifieds, and even use social networking sites, with the largest gains being made in folks who are over 74 years old.
Interesting.
It is interesting. I can understand as you get older wanting to connect with your family, your friends, and finding that the internet is especially as you get older and maybe aren't as mobile anymore, that it would allow you a certain amount of freedom.
Social networking gained across all age groups, but older groups definitely gained the most, probably because more of the so-called millennials and Gen Xers were already doing it.
And they're buying their grandparents an iPad.
I love these names. The older boomers, 55 to 64, jumped from 9 to 43% using social networking. The GI generation, those over 74, quadrupled social networking numbers, going from 4 to 16%. The one thing that dipped was blogging. Apparently, blogging has peaked. It isn't over. It's not dead. Over. But only half as many online teens work on their own blog as did in 2006. Adults age 18 to 33, they've seen the most decline, a development that probably is related to all this social networking. If you're on Twitter and on Facebook, you probably don't have as much inspiration to go post a blog.
Yeah, and places like Facebook are allowing you the space to do longer posts. Facebook. Yes. Giving you the space to post what you would like.
I'm going to start my own site. But yeah, exactly. You're getting a lot of conversation, probably more conversational by doing that than you would by a blog post. Blogging, by all means, is not over in any sense. It's just matured. It's peaked. It's now, we know what it's good for.
It's kind of like oil.
We're pretty much, it's peak oil. Peak blogging. We're going to run out of blog posts, people, if we don't conserve.
We're going to have to start pumping the shale, people.
I know this is controversial, Kiki. I know you're against it, but I really think we need to blog off the coast of Alaska. We need to blog in the northern parks.
Damn it, Tom.
We're going to run out of blogs if we don't. Let those moose blog.
We need to get keyboards for their nice hooves.
Yes, we need hoof-friendly keyboards.
Hoof-friendly keyboards for the mooses.
All right. Broadband prices dropping around the world. Good news for almost everywhere, except for the United States and Norway.
Yay, us. Yeah. Oh, wait. No.
In the United States, our price for broadband increased only 2%, according to the Technology Policy Institute's latest survey of global high-speed internet. That's not bad. It didn't increase a lot. However, in other countries, it's declining for the most part. In some instances, by as much as 40%. One exception to that was, I think, was it Norway? Was that right? Yeah, Norway residential broadband prices went up by 20%. So, hey, we beat Norway.
We beat Norway.
We don't beat Norway in much.
Sorry,
not
Norway.
Not in winter sports, not in amount, not in speed, because they have faster connections. But by golly, they didn't rise in price as much. The TPI found that they think unbundling, which is the idea that if a network is open for other ISPs to use it, it drives down the price.
Right.
And so they have said previously that unbundling would decrease the incentive to roll out fiber so that you wouldn't have fiber rolled out to as many places. But they now say they want to go back and look at that study and the findings of this study, which is if you don't unbundle, it seems to elevate the prices, and figure out what the trade-off is and which is worse.
Which would be more beneficial.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, for the consumer, the competition and getting the price down for your broadband is probably more beneficial. But for the companies that roll out the fiber, that's going to be the big question.
Yeah. And by the way, I love Norway.
I'm Norwegian.
Are you Norwegian?
I'm part Norwegian.
Really? I love Scandinavian food of all different kinds. All right, what I may or may not love is Drive Me Crazy, a new app developed by the co-founder of Shazam. Shazam's the app that lets you recognize songs.
Yep.
Philip Engelbrecht has started Drive Me Crazy, a voice-activated app that encourages drivers to report bad behavior by reciting the offender's license plate into a smartphone. The driver that you cite is then flagged and receives a virtual ticket, which this sounds like a voice version of Zapatag. If you've never, Zapatag.com is a great resolver of road rage. I've done it many times where somebody cuts you off, you remember the license plate, you put it in the Zapatag and say, this person cut me off. And then you feel better. You're like, I'm done. What this is instead of having to type it in later or type it in at all, you just say the license plate number into Drive Me Crazy, and then it does the same thing, but they take it a little further. They're going to send that data to the DMV and insurance companies.
Actual potential consequences from your
based on
actions.
Unverified crowd reports.
Unverified. And I think that's, even though it seems like this is a neat direction to go in, people can write tickets all the time currently. Citizen arrests are possible.
Sure.
But
kind of what this is.
Kind of what this is.
Except without
but
stopping
how
someone.
is it verified? The program, it's not asking you to take a picture of the car, of the license to prove that car was actually there at that time. How do you get rid of vengefulness or just people playing tricks on people?
Or
Yeah,
I didn't like that Obama/McCain bumper sticker. And so I'm going to I'm
going to make
turn
something
that
out.
person in.
Slope.
Yeah, and or how do you
And noisy.
what do you do about people who are just crazy?
Yeah.
who are
Well-
road ragey all the time, and then they go phone crazy.
Road ragey. Well, Engelbrecht says, yes, I know. There's going to be noise in the data. He says that they're looking at putting together a pilot program that would figure out how to get rid of that noise. They say they've got algorithms that can sort of suss out when something is malicious. It detects malicious use. It safeguards against multiple flags of the same driver from the same user. It checks to see if it's likely that a plate was in a particular area at that time.
Yeah.
And drivers will be able to leave feedback for informants. He says that he doesn't expect insurance companies to use this to raise your rate in particular, but he thinks the aggregate data would end up being valid, that a lot of the bad info would be washed out, and that insurance companies could then use that as another source, another data point in figuring out how to set their rates.
Right.
And the DMV as well could probably benefit from that information so that they have a better record than just the people who actually get pulled over, which is a small percentage of the people actually causing infractions on the road.
Right. And maybe there's a certain location that people cut each other off, not purposefully, but just because of the
design.
The design of the
encourages
road
bad
encourages
behavior.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Might help them identify that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Come on, what could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Wrong.
This is going to be fine. This is no different than
Tattle.
facial recognition coming to Facebook. Another awesome idea.
Boo.
What this will do is, starting next week, it'll start being rolled out slowly to about 5% of Facebook users in the U.S., and then from there to others. And when you upload a photo, it will look at other photos to see if it finds a face that's similar to that one. And if that photo has been tagged, it'll try to guess who that person is. So if you've uploaded a ton of pictures of Kiki to your secret Kiki fan page, and you've tagged her in all of them, when you upload another picture, it should be able to recognize, oh, there's Kiki.
And it'll ask to tag. Do you want to tag this as Kiki? Is this Kiki? There'll probably be some kind of question. This is something, I think Picasa does this as well, but it's not in, this is more the social sharing aspect of it being in Facebook. I mean, 9 times out of 10, probably fantastic. However, the question is, in those situations, hopefully there is an opt-out. If there's a picture taken of me that I don't want posted,
or it's not you,
or it's not me, and it gets erroneously tagged as me, am I going to have to constantly be going out and untagging myself from photos? Is it going to make it more difficult to monitor where I am on the internet?
Facebook Vice President of Product Chris Cox told CNET they're aware of that. They think it's really important for you to control the tags that are created about you. He said once you know that, you can remove the tag, or you can promote it to your friends, or you can write the person and say, I'm not that psyched about this photo. Please take it down.
Please take it down.
But you can remove yourself from a tag. So you have control over your own name, at least after the fact. I think for the most part, it's a good thing. It makes it easier to tag people in photos. And it's not like people can't tag you erroneously already.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
sure.
So you're already being tagged in photos that you later might want to remove yourself from. Anyways, this just makes it easier for you as the tagger to do that, I guess.
Also, on a small note, Facebook fan pages are live. No tabs, cleaner interface, more features. So Facebook fan pages will slowly be getting that cleaner look that regular profile pages have now. Do you have a fan page?
I think so.
Yeah.
I have a like page. Is that the fan page?
Yeah, I think that's like an ancient
thing.
I
Yeah.
think that's what the
I have a
Egyptians
page.
called a fan page. I don't think it's been called that for millennia.
I have a fan page. Yes.
All right. Well, keep an eye out for Kiki's fan page. It's going to be slick and clean soon.
That's right.
This episode of Tech News Today is brought to you by Slingbox. Just in time for the holidays, Slingbox introduces their new iPad app. You can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you take it. That means anything from your home TV is now on that iPad, so you can watch your sports, your movies, those shows you saved on your DVR, the QVC channel. I know there's a couple of you want to watch that.
We know you.
You're going to be out at that Christmas dinner and you're really bored. You're going to have that iPad. You can just plug in the earphone, run it up your sleeve. No one will know. You could be watching your home television. It's a great holiday gift, too. You can find Slingbox or see a demo at Best Buy. All you do is plug it into your television service, whether it's over the air, whether it's cable, whether it's satellite, doesn't matter. Whatever you pay for goes through the Slingbox. Then you plug the Slingbox into the internet as well, and then you install the app on your laptop, your phones, your iPad, and you can watch all your home TV wherever you go. Check it out at slingbox.com. Slingbox and your home TV now appearing on iPads everywhere. Time for the News Fuse. Set to stun. WikiLeaks cables released overnight revealed that intelligence agents discussed how Israel was preparing to take down Iran's nuclear program. Meanwhile, in a separate piece of news, a German computer consultant told the Jerusalem Post that Stuxnet has set back Iran's nuclear program by 2 years. Some suspect Israel's Unit 8200, known for its advanced signal intelligence, could possibly be Stuxnet's creator.
French ministers passed a bill that allows the government to add any website to a blacklist, which ISPs will have to enforce. This blacklist will be defined by the government only without requiring the intervention of the legal system. The bill originally was meant to go to the pedophilic sites, but has been left so wide open that many fear the government could censor the French internet as it wishes.
Boo.
Boo.
Google has updated the Windows beta version of its Chrome browser to add several features that it showed off at that Chrome OS event last week. Those include Google Instant in the Omnibox, Adobe's Flash Player plugin in a Google Sandbox for better security. And the beta release also includes WebGL for hardware-accelerated 3D graphics. The features will be added to the Mac and Linux versions in future releases.
A recent survey conducted by market research firm ChangeWave asked 1,641 IT buyers about their company's tablet usage. 7% of respondents said their company provides employees with a tablet, up 1% from August. Of that group, 82% had received the iPad, 11% got the HP Slate, Hewlett-Packard Slate, and 7% the Dell Streak. iPad users also ranked as most satisfied.
Google has made a huge database drawn from nearly 5.2 million of those books they digitized. And they've made that database available to the public for free downloads and online searches. The database contains 500 billion words that are from books published between 1800 and 2000. They're in English, French, Spanish, German, Chinese, Russian, and Hebrew. You can search the database yourself at ngrams, that's the letter N, ngrams.googlelabs.com. And also Media Bistro reporting a new Google feature that lets you search by the reading level of results. So if you want to search by basic, intermediate, or advanced results, you can set the reading level now in advanced search. Pretty interesting.
Surprisingly, 90% of search results for stem cell, the phrase stem cell, are advanced. 1% of the results for the word Christmas are advanced.
There needs to be more advanced Christmas studies.
I think they're due. I think they're due. More advanced Christmas websites. Spanish gamer site nicagamers.com.
Sí, es bueno.
Yeah, it's bueno. Reports it's now legal to sell the PS3 jailbreak mod chip in Spain. Apparently, the ruling rested partly on the fact that Sony removed the ability to run Linux on the console. The legal ruling was made on the 13th of December. Sony has until December 18th to appeal. Maybe Spanish PS3 users will get a Linux install option in their firmware before then.
You were just saying PS3 in Castilian.
I know. I want
PS3. PS3. Place. At a recent investor conference, Intel disclosed that the first Sandy Bridge processors will be quad-core, and they'll go live in January. They'll be followed in February by the more mainstream dual-core chips. Original equipment manufacturers are going to show off quad-core machines at CES for the most part. That's coming up first week of January. We'll be there. TWiT will be covering it. They'll be showing off the more mainstream dual-core machines in February because they don't want to undermine the holiday sales now.
Round 4. Bing! Ding! Nokia has filed 13 more patent infringement claims against Apple, this time in courts in the UK, Germany, and the Netherlands. Nokia kicked off the battle in October 2009, claiming Apple violated 10 patents. Apple countersued and then extended the action, accusing Nokia of infringing more of its patents. Earlier, Nokia claims covered alleged patent infringements of 3G and Wi-Fi.
Fight. All right, let's finish off here before we get to the calendar.
Achoo!
With some research into the flu.
Achoo!
Do you have your Wi-Fi responder on?
No.
Researchers outfitted an entire high school population with IEEE 802.15.4 sensors for one day to model what they call a human contact network. They tracked how often people came within the infection spreading range of other individuals.
About 10 feet.
10 feet. So 10 feet is considered a pretty good range for a standard cough or sneeze
from
to
10
be spread.
If you sneeze.
Yeah.
If you sneeze.
Depends
Yeah,
on
I guess
how
so.
hard you sneeze.
I
know somebody who sneezes really hard. I bet they could infect from 20.
I think there was actually a recent study that looked
That'd be an
into
average.
the distance that sneezes actually spread germs, and it's not quite 10 feet. It's actually less than that. So there
To be safe.
To be safe,
Yeah,
10
it's a
feet.
safe
This
number.
study is a good place. 10 feet's a good place to start. It's really interesting. The idea being that you could model interactions where people could get the flu from others by coming into this infection distance, the infection range.
The hot zone.
The hot zone. Right. Anyway, they found that none of it mattered. There's nothing in terms.
Really? Wait, what?
It doesn't matter who you are.
They found out that
Nothing
if
matters.
you stay home and eat chicken soup.
That's how you're gonna not get the flu. Stay
Right, that's how you'll
home. Never talk to anybody. Don't go outside. You know.
If you go to school and you're like, very socially like closed in, and you don't talk to other people, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You're still
matter.
gonna
Get the flu.
You're an extrovert
Infection
or an
distance.
introvert. If
Yeah,
you're a
exactly.
hub, a social hub, or someone on the fringes, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are going to come within
So,
that range at some point during your interactions
Misanthropes
during the day.
still get the flu. Agoraphobes,
Right.
totally healthy.
Exactly.
Totally healthy.
All right.
There you go. Thanks for breaking it down, Tom.
Figured that out. Good science.
Good
All
science.
right, on to the calendar. Opera 11, now available, ladies and gentlemen. Get it while it's hot. You got tab stacks, a new cool way to organize your tabs. I'm sure tab stacks will eventually show up in Firefox and Chrome. They'll start touting how great they are in Firefox and Chrome, and then all the Opera people can point to this day and say, we came up with tab stacks, bitches. Stop stealing all our ideas. Also, some new handling of extensions in there as well, so check it out. Mac App Store is open for business on January 6th. That is not a rumor. That is the official announcement from the mouth of Steve Jobs or the person who wrote his statement. One of the two or both. January 6th, 2011, in 90 countries, you'll be able to play around with that Mac App Store, whether you like it or not. Now, this is a rumor, but Digitimes reporting that their sources at manufacturers say new iMacs and MacBook Pros will be coming in 2011, and they're going to have a tweaked design. Well, of course they are. I mean, that's pretty much...
That's what they do.
What they do. Smaller and cheaper. So check them out when they come out. They'll all come with Mac OS 10, 10.7 Lion, probably in the spring. They seem to like to update these things in April. Yep. That'd be my guess. In less rumorish, more factual type stuff, the Humble Indie Bundle 2 is out. Pay what you like for 5 great indie games, and whatever you pay goes to EFF and Child's Play. So you want to support the Electronic Frontier Foundation, you want to support kids and entertain them when they're sick, buy these games. Pay a lot. Pay as much as you can. And then you get 5 great indie games. And finally, Google App Inventor. That's the thing where you plug in your Android phone. You don't have to know any code. You tick off some check boxes, slide some stuff around, create an app. It's built on your phone while you do it. Is now out of private beta and into public beta. Still in beta, but you don't have to get invited anymore. You can just go on over and check it out.
You can go check it out and do something if you actually have an idea.
If you have an idea.
Yes.
Yeah, check it out at appinventor.googlelabs.com/about. On to the voicemail. 260-TNT show is the number Mark called to tell us this.
Hey, Tom, this is Mark from Tampa. Just want to let you know that Hulu sent me an email saying that Gawker leak, they noticed that I used my email there at Hulu and at Gawker. So I should change my password because maybe I have the same password at both places. It's just kind of weird that they knew that I had emails in both places. I'm assuming they had the list that leaked. Another thing, a great thing to use for security, make your username a regular word. Just a random word. Nobody can ever Google you. Whatever. Big deal. Bye.
Isn't that what you do when you choose a username?
Making your username a random word that's from the dictionary subjects you to a dictionary attack. Don't do that. I don't think that helps you any. Probably doesn't even hurt you that much, frankly.
Right.
Username. However, yes, I'm sure what Hulu did is what Yahoo did and what Blizzard did, which is take that database and go through and run it against their own database, see if any of the emails matched, and any emails that matched, they sent out an email saying, hey, your email was leaked out onto the internet. You might want to change your password. It's just good advice. But thanks for that report. Didn't know Hulu was doing that too, Mark.
Interesting.
On to the emails, TNT@twit.tv. Doug from Virginia says apparently the first day of deliberations, the private deliberations on net neutrality at the FCC happened yesterday, and AT&T went through the FCC offices handing out 1,530 cupcakes to FCC employees.
And the FCC employees went, yeah, cupcakes!
They cost $29 a dozen, a total of $3,703 worth of cupcakes. AT&T claims it's tradition.
We do this all the time.
They say they do it every year, and apparently it's true. They do it every year. Doug says, honestly, if that's all it costs to bribe the FCC, maybe we should get people to donate a fund for gift baskets. I think it'd be cool if somebody started a Kickstarter to fund gift baskets to the FCC in support of net neutrality.
Yeah.
I'm not even
not?
I'm not even sure that I'm on that side of things necessarily the way it's put forward, but I would love to see that.
Or, if you can come up with $3,703 to buy 1,530 cupcakes, have your own cupcake day.
Seriously, you want to one-up AT&T? Waffles.
Waffles.
Send the FCC waffles. Ooh. Somebody start the Kickstarter waffle net neutrality project right now, please.
Or bacon. Or just waffles.
Bacon. Well, you got vegetarian.
Oh, yeah.
So,
just waffles.
Yeah. Pay for the
just
waffle
waffles.
truck.
That's a great idea. Hey, Tom and TNT crew. John from Adelaide, Australia here. I'm not even going to try an Australian accent. I'm going to leave that to Tom. Just wanting to make a comment about episode 138 in which you were stating the problems with mobile carriers charging for different content, such as Facebook. Over here, our carriers already do this, but they do it in a different way. The carrier I am with, 3 Mobile, offers free Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Foursquare data, amongst others, with all plans. If you want to go outside of these data areas, you need to use your included data or purchase additional data plans. There are similar deals with other carriers such as Vodafone and Optus. This does not occur with Telestra, which is our biggest provider. However, hopefully this might be what your carriers are looking into. John, the student. Adelaide.
That's a very clever way of doing that. So you're not actually charging per se.
per se.
You're actually just not charging.
Yeah.
Which is still theoretically the tiered internet.
Yep.
Right? But there you go. It's already happening, people. Start the Waffle Fund now.
Yep.
And finally, Jennifer R. writes in and says, hi to all the great hosts of the show. You guys make my drive home from work entertaining and informative. Well, thank you. I was listening and thinking about some of the suggestions made in recent shows about password safety. I've had this conversation with my husband often as well, and I have to say that what makes it so hard to come up with a secure password algorithm, etc., is all the different rules different sites have for logging on. Some sites make you use numbers and special characters, which is great, but then some won't let you use special characters in a password. Some sites restrict password length to 6, 8, or 10 characters, so you can't create a very long password. It gets rather frustrating trying to keep secure. I would think that if there was more standardization in the password rules of various websites, it might actually be easier to create/use secure passwords or an algorithm, as you suggested. What is your take on this, Kiki?
I think I don't know whether it would help or hurt. I mean, to be really secure, you should probably have a different password for every account that you log into. Most people don't want to do that. If there weren't those kinds of rules, you'd probably just be using the same password everywhere. And so if somebody could figure out whatever strategy you have, they could hack you. So there's that side of it. But
she has the point of like, well, I want to make a secure password. I want to have an algorithm that makes a different password for every site, but I can't use the algorithm because some sites don't allow exclamation points. And then this site won't let a password be over 6 characters. What the heck's that about?
Yeah. You have to adjust your algorithm.
Yeah.
You have to have maybe have multiple algorithms for figuring out your password.
For a site that allows you to use symbols, one that doesn't.
Something like LastPass or 1Password, a password manager, is probably the best you can do. Because you can use them on your phone, you can use them online. You don't have to have the software on the computer you're using, so it still lets you log in wherever you are. But honestly, it's one ID. Yeah. We've got to get to a point where there's one ID. Secure ID, whether it's OpenID or Facebook Connect or some other thing that hasn't been invented yet. I mean, that really is the only solution to this problem. So that you just have to remember one long, secure password, and that's it.
Yep.
1ZX exclamation point ampersand BD, whatever it is. You can remember
however
one
you
long
come up
one.
with it, right? Whether it's given to you or whether you've come up with it.
Right. Yeah, OAuth. Maybe OAuth is the solution, Geekosphere 101. Could be, but one of them has to win. All right, thanks everybody. Dr. Kiki
to rule them all
on Dr. Kiki's Science Hour.
Yes.
This Week in Science and Green Tech Today.
Yes.
Check them all out.
Thank you.
You will be glad you did. You can find us on the web, twit.tv/TNT. There's a link there to our wiki. It has all our show notes if you want to get links to all the stuff we talk about. You can also email us, 260-TNT-SHOW, or give us a call, TNT@twit.tv. Try those. They won't work. Do it the opposite way, and we'll see you tomorrow.
More waffles.